Hello, this is Kevin Kalmus with Nested Knowledge, here to show you how to use our pre-built demo nests to learn about every step in the Nested Knowledge workflow. If you are new to the Nested Knowledge software, this is a great video to start from. So log into your account, go to the Autolit homepage, and we can start from there. You could, of course, build out your own new nest, but in that case, you'll have to draft your own protocol, build out your own study design, create your own search strategy. So you can also use our pre-built nests on any of three topics of interest, so COVID-19, osteoarthritis, or the one that I will use, a heart failure demo nest. So I click Start Demo, and this opens two pages for me. The first is actually our documentation page that walks you through every step of this demo. So if you ever get stuck while you're going through the demo nest, it explains how we've configured this one to specifically teach you certain steps in the Nested Knowledge software. It will also create you a demo nest that you own, but that has a protocol containing, the research question of interest, inclusion criteria, the interventions and outcomes that you'll be tagging and extracting. It has comments that we used while that we created while we were building out this nest. And it also has each step nearly finished. So we have a nearly completed search step, screening step, tagging, and extraction that you can finish off to practice each step in this software. For settings, we have set this up so you should not need to adjust these. You can invite others to your demo nest if you'd like. You can adjust any settings. So if you want this to have two-pass screening, or if you want to invite a friend and use dual screening, if you want to change the mode for tagging or extraction, you can do so, but we have configured the settings so you can run forward with this demo from the start. We also have a couple of wrinkles that we've built in. For instance, we don't actually have a search populated in this nest. So you can build one if you want by clicking Add Search and building out a query, running it on a search engine of interest. But you can also examine how we added studies to this nest, which we did using PubMed IDs and DOIs for underlying studies that we added manually. So if you want to practice adding studies manually by PMID, by DOI, by metadata, or by uploading full texts, you can also practice doing that, and it'll set you up for screening in the next stage. However, if you think that you have search under lock, you can move forward directly to screening. And once you've learned about the study design of this nest and why you would include or exclude a record, and you can do so usually by reading through the configure screening page or the protocol, then we can jump in and we can see there's one more study to be screened. Here, I should read the abstract and determine whether, of course, it is an RCT or not. Does it report therapies of interest? Does it report outcomes of interest? And if it meets all inclusion criteria and does not meet any exclusion criteria, then I would, of course, hit include. If not, I should exclude it for the reason of interest. Then I should move forward to the tagging stage. And again, I recommend that you start by looking at the configuration of tagging, where we have a relatively simple set of concepts. So patient characteristics or population, interventions that are being compared, including some combination therapies, and outcomes. And I should look these over so I know what topics and concepts will be of interest while I am tagging. Once I have examined this, I should jump into tagging, but you can see that there's a problem. In this tagging workflow, I do not have a full text for this article yet, but never fear, I can click out to the DOI and find the PDF, so I can practice doing full text import. I can download the PDF for this study. Once I have downloaded it, I will be able to add tags to it. So I download it from the Journal of Interest, I come back into my nest, I can just click and drag this into upload full text, or I can, of course, click in and find it in my library. Once I have added this text, I can now practice tagging, and we have populated this with some of the tags of interest. As I'm going through, I can either tag directly using the hierarchy that I've looked over, so find the concept of interest, add tags. I can practice with tag recommendations, and once I've gone through and added any tags that may be of interest on this study, then I will move forward to the extraction stage. So upload the full text and then practice adding tags that may be of interest to this study, or even editing the tags that are already present on the underlying study. Once that is complete, I should examine the extraction configuration. This uses that hierarchy that we built out for tagging. So every concept that is extracted, both the interventions, which you can see here in the purple, and the data elements, which you can see here in the gold, have been tagged on the underlying studies and are configured with further information, either noted to be in the intervention hierarchy or given a statistic type so that I know I'm going to be moving forward with extraction. And then I can actually use that same study that we just tagged and that we have the full text for to go through and extract data or correct the extractions that have already been done. So I can examine this and see that we already have a placebo arm extracted, as well as one of our interventions of interest that I can tell is present because it has a little tag icon next to it. Once that has been populated, it'll of course populate our arm sizes, and I can go through and examine the extractions that have already been completed. I can correct them, and of course, if there are any missing extractions, I can add those as well. When that is complete, of course, I can hit complete on this article, and as these tips in the bottom left-hand corner say, I can actually jump over and see the results of the tagging that was already present in the nest and that I've completed. So if I have added or edited any information, I should be able to see that by clicking over to the synthesis page, seeing the tags that we've configured and added to underlying studies, see the data that we've extracted from underlying studies, and even run a network meta-analysis and examine the findings from this underlying study. That is effectively how we anticipate demo nests being used. You should be jumping in and playing with them. This should be a low risk area to make mistakes at every stage throughout the workflow, and also a way that you can see how our research experts have made decisions in the screening stage, in the tagging stage, and the extraction stage that you may want to mimic in your own research practices. The last thing I'll note, if you're feeling intrepid and you want to learn about expert level capabilities, I do recommend that you come into Inspector, use our smart filters, try out bulk actions, because those are features that can lead to some mistakes, and those mistakes can, of course, perpetuate errors throughout your nest. But since it's a demo nest, you should be able to practice without any high stakes. But for instructions on how to use Inspector and how to use bulk actions, I'd love for you to run over and see the videos on those on the wiki. And with that, thank you so much for your attention and good luck with both your first demo and your first real publishable nest.